more importantly, their union was magic. I would say that this is the most fun I've had in a theater since No Way Home. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing the new Marvel film directed by Nia DaCosta, The Marvels. Now I want to start off by saying that I did not like Captain Marvel. That first movie just wasn't for me. I felt like there were conflicting ideas. I felt like there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and I thought that Brie Larson's performance was really stiff. And Carol Danvers isn't really like that. I've read a couple of her comics, and she's such a fun character that I just think that she's always been stiff. After Captain Marvel, no one knew how to use her. I think that someone with her power set, she has incredible powers, it should be executed in a way that makes you think, wow, she really is that powerful. Nothing has done that for her. They also don't give her like ample opportunity to show off her powers. And that's why Captain Marvel, whether it was like a cameo in a post-credit scene or even an Endgame, like there wasn't enough of her for anyone to kind of care for her because they didn't use her properly. So that's very unfortunate. Next, you have her as like Miss Marvel's idol. You have Kamala Khan, who's played by Iman Vellani, an amazing superstar. The charisma, the talent, the personality, it's all there. And her love for Captain Marvel is what made people kind of warm up to the idea of Carol Danvers again. Because every single time we asked where Carol was, she wasn't even involved in any of the situations happening on Earth because she's focused on saving other planets. So she was never present. She's never there. Enter Nia DaCosta. Okay? She is the only person that is allowed to work with any of the Marvels. Period. She is the only one who understood each power set for Teyonah Parris, who's playing Monica Rambeau, for Kamala Khan, again played by Iman Vellani, and for Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. She nailed all three of their power sets, all of them, and even gave them more to do with their powers. So you can see the distinction between all three of them. I love that. But you also see why they're so similar and why their powers are linked together in this film, which you see in the trailer. They have so much body switching, and the fight choreography for the body switching, amazing. Some of the best work in the MCU. Nia DaCosta did that. Fight choreography, power switching, power sets, just being fully utilized here and teaching each other and learning. Like that chemistry was really strong, on top of the emotional connection that the three of them do build in this film. Do I feel like it was a bit rushed? 100%. I think that we needed another like standalone Captain Marvel film just to get more of a feel of her, because we still don't have enough for Carol Danvers. We haven't seen like a solo Carol Danvers, yet she's always alone, and that was the main theme here for her, was that she's constantly alone and she would love to have people around, but she can't. And it's like you have two more people that are like you, so then they kind of come together and they form their own little team here, and she warms up to the fact that like maybe she doesn't have to be alone, and that's great. We needed more of that. There are so many strands here in the Marvels where they could have just expanded a little bit more, especially the emotional beats with Monica Rambeau. And of course, like meeting Carol Danvers after all this time, those emotional beats worked, but they also didn't. It's like a fleeting moment for those emotional beats. And I think that could have been a bit stronger, because Teyonah Parris, for what she had to work with, my goodness, does she shine. She grounded this film. Carol's up in space. Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan brings in this like youthful nature, which is what we needed. She was just very happy to be there and you could feel that, but she's also encountering other worlds for the first time. She's also in the midst of like making these tough decisions, these tough calls, and she's coming into her own as a superhero. And I think that that was also a nice addition. So all three of them had pretty decent screen time shared among them. You still got some character development for the three of them, but more importantly, their union was magic. I would say that this is the most fun I've had in a theater since No Way Home. So yeah, take that as you will, but I really enjoyed this. The humor was not bad for once. It didn't undercut any emotional beats, I think. I feel like the emotional moments between Carol, Kamala, and Monica, they let the scenes breathe a bit, and the humor wasn't cheesy as it normally is. I think that they did it extremely well, and they highlighted each character's humor because they're so different from each other. I will add that Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury is the highlight of this film. He's so funny in this. He's always great. He's always great. But oh my goodness, he's hilarious in this. Like every one-liner that you can possibly think of, it's Sam Jackson nailing it every time. I don't need Nick Fury Secret Invasion anymore. We don't need to ever go back to that kind of Nick Fury. I liked this Nick Fury, especially with the camaraderie with Monica and Carol. Like I think that him knowing the full backstories for both of them and then trying to bring them together also really worked. I think Goose was a lot of fun. There's one particular needle drop that had me crying and it was so funny. This is just like Nia DaCosta trying something really different and fresh, and you could feel that even though it's such a generic story with like one of the worst villains ever in the MCU, like just bland and pointless, but it's basically to teach Carol a couple of things, but it's just the worst villain. It was a nothing villain. Okay, it was a nothing villain, but everything else that Nia DaCosta did, I loved it. It felt generic, but stylistically, it was just all Nia DaCosta's brain. And I thank her for that because you could tell that she left her mark here. And I really enjoyed this. I think it's a lot of fun. I do understand why people have issues with it, but it's really not that bad. It's better than Quantumania. It's better than Multiverse of Madness. Those two films just made me so angry. They made me so angry. But The Marvels is just so, so fun from the very beginning because we open with Kamala Khan and we just get right into what makes her so special. And like, even if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, which if you haven't, that's so sad because it's one of the best MCU shows, they reintroduce her in the most fun way possible. And you get a sense of who she is, her connection to Captain Marvel. And it's really fast paced at the beginning. They waste no time. This is one of like the shortest superhero films, like an hour and 45, I think. Perfect. There are certain story beats where, again, like I said, it could have been fleshed out. But I also feel like having the three of them together should have been in the third film. And we needed Carol to breathe a bit more and learn more about her because we don't know enough. That's the only issue with that. It could have been like a Monica Carol tandem and then have Kamala come in the third one and then have them unite. I do think it's a bit rushed. However, without spoiling, the ending, it's so fun. Put a big fat smile on my face, that ending. And Iman Vellani, my Canadian girl, you are a superstar and I will follow you to the end of the MCU. Okay? She's phenomenal. And the only one that I would want to see, like, just lead everyone into the future of the MCU because she is fantastic. Star quality, Iman Vellani. Love you. That ending is great. The mid-credit, whether you've seen spoilers or not, okay, that mid-credit hits more than you think it would. And I was just pleasantly surprised that it did. I like the way they did this mid-credit scene. I think it works. I'm not giving anything away, but I think it really works and it made me really freaking happy. The happiest I've been in a very long time with a mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene. And people are saying, oh, they didn't tie anything up. They did. What more do you want from that villain? It was a one-off villain. Like, we're never going to see that villain again. Things were resolved quickly, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't resolved. I just think that for what this film was, again, because you have to set up other things, I understand, we can't be upset with it at this point because we know that's what they're gonna do. If it's like bad setup, then I understand. But I personally felt like this was like a natural progression of where they need to go in the future, and that's why I liked it. So I'm sitting at like a 3.5 out of 5 for the Marvels. Shout out to Nia DaCosta. Just like, thank you so much for this movie. I was pleasantly surprised, as being someone who did not like the first Captain Marvel or the way they utilized Carol and anything else. This felt more like Carol Danvers. And for that, I thank you so much. I love what they did with Teyonah Parris. I love what they did with Iman Vellani, and the three of them have incredible chemistry. Teyonah Parris is a freaking powerhouse in this, and I really liked what they did with her. It's a lot of fun. So please, guys, let me know your thoughts on Captain Marvel, on Miss Marvel, okay, on the Marvels. Let me know all of that in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And if you guys want to help me grow this wonderful channel, you can find out ways to do that in the bio below. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.